The Padre War was also known as the Minangkabau War, was a war fought from 1803 to 1837 in the West Sumatra, Indonesia between the Padre and indigenous people. The Padre are Muslims who want to implement Islamic Sharia in the Minangkabau country in West Sumatra. Meanwhile, the indigenous people include the nobles and traditional leaders there. They asked for help from the Dutch who then intervened in 1821 and helped the indigenous people defeat the Padre faction. The Padre War was caused by a dispute that began when the Padre began to suppress when they considered an Islamic custom, namely adat.
With this victory, the Dutch tightened their power in West Sumatra. However, after the war, traditional and religious leaders increasingly aligned their visions. This helped disseminate a new view of Adat Basandi Syara, Syara Basandi Kitabullah, traditions based on Islamic law based on the Quran. The Diponegoro War is also known as the Java War. The Diponegoro War was a major war and lasted for 5 years, 1895 until 1830, on the island of Java, Dutch East Indies, now Indonesia. This war involved Dutch troops under the leadership of General Hendrik Marcus de Kock, who tried to suppress the resistance of the Javanese population under the leadership of Prince Diponegoro. The end of the war confirmed Dutch control over the island of Java. The feud between Javanese court and the Dutch began when Marshal Herman William Daendels arrived in Batavia on January 5, 1808. Although he was only assigned to prepare Java as a base for French defense against England, at that time the Netherlands was controlled by France. Daendels also changed etiquette and rules, a ceremony that caused hatred from the Javanese court. After the Diponegoro War in 1832, all the kings and regents in Java surrendered to the Dutch, except the Ponorogo regent Warok Botondidingrat III. In fact, he wanted to attack all Dutch offices in Karasinan, cities of Madiun and Central Java. Therefore, the Dutch made an agreement to build a regent's office in the center of Ponorogo city, as well as supporting facilities and vehicles directly from Europe.
The Aceh-Dutch War, or abbreviated as the Aceh War, was the war of the Sultanates of Aceh against the Dutch starting from the 1873 to 1904. The Sultan of Aceh Muhammad Daud Shah surrendered in January 1904, but the resistance of the people of Aceh, led by feudal kings or Ulebalang and the ulama, used guerrilla warfare, continued until the 1914, and the sporadic resistance from the people of Aceh continued until the 1942. As a result of the 1858 Siak Agreement, Sultan Ismail handed over the Delhi, Langkat, Asahan, and Serdang areas to the Dutch. Even though these areas had been under Achenese rule since Sultan Iskandar Muda, the Dutch violated the Siak Agreement, so the London Agreement ended in the 1824. The content of the London Agreement was that the Netherlands and the Britain made provisions regarding the boundaries of the two powers of two regions in Southeast Asia, namely the latitude of Singapore.
After the Aceh War, Dutch maintained control over Aceh through indirect rule. Even though open conflict had ended, the Acehese people resistance to Dutch rule continued until the Japanese invasion of the Dutch East Indies in 1942.